Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to do an overheating test between the Xperia XZ, the Xperia X Compact, and a bunch of other Xperia phones you see here. So just starting up here in the top left corner, this is the Xperia Z3 Compact, the Xperia Z5 Compact, the Xperia X Compact, the Xperia Z3V, the Xperia Z3 Plus, the Xperia M5, the Xperia Z5, the Xperia Z5 Premium, the Xperia X, the Xperia X Performance, and the Xperia XZ. Alright guys, so as you see I have the camera up on all these phones. So I have the 4K camera up on those phones that support 4K mode. Some of them don't. On those I have 60 frames per second camera up. So that includes the X, the X Performance, the X Compact. But everything else has 4K mode. Alright, so I'm going to start checking in once some of these phones overheat. So at just about 8 minutes in, we have our first victim. It is the Xperia Z3V. So as you see, overheats. So again, I'll provide updates as this goes along. Now at about 11 minutes in, the Xperia M5 is done as well. Now the Z3 Compact just finished around 21 minutes in. Something interesting here, so the Xperia X and the X Compact both have warning message about to overheat. So it does happen on the phones when it's about to overheat, you get a warning message. Usually don't show it, but I am showing it now because it's interesting that both these only shooting 1080p 60 frames per second. Again, like the X Performance, they do not have 4K mode, but you see already starting to overheat. So once they overheat, I'll provide another update. Next up, at 27 minutes in, the Xperia X is finished. So again, this is disappointing in line with previous tests I did with this phone. Again, this is only recording in 1080p mode, not even 4K, so disappointing. Looks like the, oh wow, yeah, so the X Compact just finished as well, just under 28 minutes. So disappointing for the X Compact and disappointing for the X, I'll say. So now we are 39 minutes in, approaching 40 minutes, and the Xperia Z5 and the Xperia XZ just finished. And a few seconds later, the Z3 Plus did as well. And close to 47 minutes in, the Z5 Premium done as well. So far, really impressive results for that. Now, the only two left are the X Performance, which again, that phone is actually only 1080p, and the Z5 Compact. So I'll provide an update once we know the winner. And at just under 50 minutes, Z5 Compact is done as well. So again, the X Performance, only one still running. I'll provide updates once it's done. And then I'm going to discuss the results, show you guys some of the files. And at just under 1 hour, the X Performance, which again was recording just 1080p, 60 frames per second, is finished. So now for the results. So just to recap the results, I think that the Xperia ZX, or the XZ rather, I think that did pretty well. The X Compact, not so much. So here's a look at the list. Bring that into view. So you see here, Z3V, not surprising, usually does pretty poorly. The M5 got a lot worse the more I used it. The Z3 Compact, again, not so great results. So those are all the older phones. Now with the X Compact, and the X Performance, of course, those only 1080p, 60 frames per second. X Compact, really not good results considering it's only recording in 1080p mode. Z5, XZ, Z3 Plus, all pretty solid, close to each other. Now the Z3 Plus is used to have more overheating issues, but Sony's really improved it with firmware updates. Z5 Premium, of course, really did really well, 45 minutes, 31 seconds. The Z5 Compact, the winner overall. And the X Performance, pretty good, so you're not going to have overheating issues even though you can't record in 4K mode. So I will say for the XZ, haven't had any issues with it so far. No issues with overheating, and let me show you guys some of those files. So here's the X Compact. Again, 23 minutes, 42 seconds, only under 5 gigabytes for the file, really not that large. Very unimpressive for the X Compact. So a little bit disappointing that you really can't record longer than around 25 minutes on that, at least at 6 frames per second. Then let's take a look at, so here's the X Performance. So again, no 4K mode on this, but it did at least last the longest, 56 minutes, 35 seconds. You see big upgrade there in terms of the size, close to 12 gigabytes. And then the other two. So here is the XZ. This was recording in 4K mode. You see much larger file, 15 gigabytes, 39 minutes. And finally, for the winner, the Z5 Compact. So huge file here, almost 19 gigabytes and 49 minutes. Now, one other thing I didn't mention. So whenever I do these tests, people always ask, why don't you include other Android phones like the Galaxy, HTC? And the reason is because all those phones, they place caps on how long you can actually record in 4K mode. So for a lot of those phones, you can record like 5 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, 6 minutes. But Xperia, one of the few phones that actually allows you to keep recording until it overheats and turns off automatically. The iPhone does that as well, and I found the iPhone really good at it. Can last upwards of an hour, so maybe next time I'll include the iPhone in the test. But again, I think the XZ did excellent here. You're not going to have any overheating issues. I haven't in this circumstance or any other circumstance where I use the phone. And the X Compact, the X, definitely a lot to be desired. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more content in the future, and let me know in the comment section what video you want to see next.